Hey folks, and welcome to a second podcast here. How you doing, Leon, over in Frankfurt? How is it going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's not the best weather today, but I'm making the best out of it. For example, staying inside and recording another episode of our podcast. So yeah, how is it for you? Where are you at actually?
I'm still back over in Spiez, over here in Switzerland. I can
Cool.
just tell the same for the weather today. It's pretty cold actually outside. Had some fresh snow today in the morning. And actually, literally, the snow got to here, and we had like some little snowflakes in the garden, but it didn't stick to the ground. We are too low here. But yeah, if you look around, the mountains are pretty white everywhere. Looks cool. Looking forward to get up there soon, do some hiking in the winter wonderland and stuff like that. Yeah, it was quite a while
Bet.
that we talked. Yeah, it's 1 week already again. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice to hear from you again. Huh? Looking.
Yeah, new episode, more information, more details. And yeah, let's get it going, man.
Yeah. Like last time, we just talked about how we met and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it was really nice. Like first try, first episode, and today we a little bit want to talk more about like the name, how we found our name, how all that stuff came together. Yeah, and yep, it's Grow Cap, and it's quite funny the story. We were thinking a little bit because if you have like this kind of thing you're doing and are looking for a name, I think it's really nice that you kind of can get a picture in your mind what the name like that your whole project like picturizes in the name. So that's what we thought there. And yeah, you quickly want to talk about our first time finding the name.
Yeah, it's for me, it's really interesting because we were talking about telling stories in general, right? Like if you tell your story of your life or if you talk to other people about whatever they're doing for themselves, I think it was really interesting that you could kind of see it like a car ride, right? So if we talk about the past, we can see it as a review mirror. So you have a metaphor for what has been, what the meaning could be in the past. And that could be, for example, your childhood, youth, the influence of society, your personal extreme experiences or growth, and the view that you had have in life back then, and if something has changed. And then we also have the present, which would be you actually, conducting or driving the car itself, which would be where you at right now, your present. What does that mean for you? Where are you at your job, your university? Are you studying something? Are you doing an apprenticeship? All the goals that you have right now for traveling, your changing goals and mindset, your strengths and weaknesses, and so forth. And then if you look out the windscreen up front, that is your future. So you look out the front, you see the path, the road, the street, the way in front of you, and that then represents a metaphor for your future. So what are your goals that are ahead of you? The near and far future. So the goals that will come close and that will take maybe a little while because they're just bigger. And yeah, what are you going to do? And are you on the right track of your life, actually, for you personally and your values and goals that you have? So yeah, that was kind of how the idea established, because I said it's like a car ride. I heard that way of telling stories or thinking about your actual own life from a really good friend of mine named Rolf. So shout out to Rolf, which is kind of like one of my mentors to me. And yeah, then you actually said once we invite people to that storytelling or to that podcast, it's actually kind of like we invite them into our car, which is kind of like a taxi or also a cab, right?
Exactly. That's also what I thought. Like this, you brought up like this metaphor with the car, which is like, it's literally what we do and like, or what we stand for, and we can also always stick back to that example. So I really like this part. And then we thought like, a normal car, that's like, yeah, sure, it's nice already. It's like one part, but then we thought like, we kind of have the sessions here where we just take you in and then we just go and go and go and we go somewhere, and that's literally like a cab ride. And that's just why we thought it would be it should literally just make sense to go for grow cap then. And it's always nice if we have like this podcast and where we talk about different topics, and then we always can go and stick back to this example and kind of like picturize all everything. And I think especially like for this whole mindset thing, it's always nice if you get a picture for a certain thing, because then it's way easier to understand what's happening behind there, the process and everything. And it's like kind of like a mental frame you can build up with that. And we were thinking a long time about this name, or like a little bit about this name, and then we thought like, yeah, actually that's it, we have to go for it. That's it describes fully what we want to do. And there are like the certain steps, like Leon said before, like with past, present, and future. And it's so easy to remind yourself, like you're sitting in a car, you look through the window or through the mirror and stuff like that. And it's like we thought that it's always nice that we stick back to that example again, or to this whole picture. So it's kind of like a red line in our podcast, which we want to generate through that.
Exactly. And so there's something that we always will come back, and it's like the base and also the path, literally,
Yeah.
that we want to take in the future. And always, like not actually as a path, but like just as a construction that we can always take things from and go from there. And as you said, you can project a great picture from that, especially if we talk, well, first of all, if we talk about topics that interests us in the first place, but also interest you guys, and that we then can further go into detail, inviting you guys in spontaneously, whatever we do, just the two of us, and spontaneously inviting someone, but also the planned dialogues, or actually trialogues in our situation, or maybe even more people that we invite every other week as a guest. And then I think for them, it's also a really interesting principle to have that kind of way of talking about their life, and also in different sections, right? Like,
Yeah.
first of all, what has actually happened, but then also what you can take from that in terms of, personal involvement, uh, personal development, values, and what you can take for yourself from the standpoint that those people were at and are at now.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think it's also just nice to call this whole thing like a growth ride, and it's just literally like a taxi ride. We just go somewhere, pick the people up, then we take them. They see something nice on the way, some nice views they tell us, and oh, we also learn something new because we didn't saw that stuff before. And it's like
Yeah.
you can really picturize our whole project in just this one simple thing. So I'm really happy that we found that name and that we also generated a story behind it. And that's also like, if you look at whole brand building, it's always really important that you have like this kind of connection to the name or to the brand and to all that thing.
Yeah.
And I think we just at the beginning now for sure, but I think with this name and with this story behind it, we really can build up that brand or build up this whole story. And I think it's also like sure, at a later point of time you also talk about like business development and business stuff and shit like that. And it's really nice that we now for ourselves, we can, during this process, we can just learn how it works, and then we just tell you guys what we just learned on this way. And I'm actually like really happy with this metaphor. And yeah, looking forward to take many people on this taxi rides here with us. And yeah, so I think like last time we kind of quickly told you guys how we want to do this whole thing. I think we maybe just quickly summarize this again. It will be like one weekly podcast normally. Like sometimes it's just like the two of us, and sometimes we just invite like guests. And maybe Leon, I think Leon does know a little bit more about the guests, because he's like really he has a lot of connections already in the self development scene and everything. He's also like doing a lot of fitness there. So just Leon, tell us a little bit more about the guests, maybe, which we want to invite sometimes.
Yeah, just to give you a little teaser, yeah, as you said, I think this is going to be really interesting, because what our idea was of inviting guests is not just people that, that classic story that made their job their hobby, or their hobby their job, or whatever, but that they're actually just in general following their imagination of the life they want to live, um, no matter what stage they're in. And we want to, we want to interview them all the way and find out everything they did on the path. So the people, just kind of to give you a quick teaser, I don't want to say too much about it, will be people, as you said, out of the personal development scene, talking about coaches, speakers, people that have worked with really successful people on a really high level, either supporting them or actually, taking their own path as a speaker or coach. So everything that goes into the direction of mindset, personal involvement, inspiration, motivation, which is one of the bases of this podcast. And then also the sector of fitness and health, where we want to invite people that, for example, that build a gym or that are developing more and more knowledge about the human body and how everything works. But then also all other different characters. For example, I was talking to a rapper from around here that is really young, is in our age, and is developing a huge career at the moment. And we can also always come back to his mindset or to our guest's mindset to project that on what we are actually talking about as basic topics. So that's just to give you a first taste about that.
So true. And I think like with inviting guests and stuff like that, it's also like one basic principle. You always have to listen to all these different people, different knowledges, different mindsets, and all the different stuff which is out there. And you should just like literally reflect what they said and just pick out for yourself what you really need and with which you can grow more. And I think it's really nice always, like for example, for myself, I was thinking like, oh, a rapper, for what the fuck we need a rapper in here? But still, you need to be open for everything in life, guys. Like, um, even like the rapper, maybe he did something in marketing, maybe he had like some difficult stage in his life before, and you're like, I was at that point as well, and like maybe you can learn something really special from him which you wouldn't learn from another person. And that's like a really basic principle in life, guys. You always need to be like open, listen to everyone's opinion, and then like really from this try to generate like yourself like an opinion for yourself. And also it's really important for self-development for sure. And also if you look, for example, it's like if you're working in a marketing scene or something like that, you also just need to understand all your customers. If you don't understand like um, all of them, sure, you can't figure out like a new marketing strategy or something like that. And so I can go like in every different sector now with this topic, but like the main point of it is just take all the knowledge in you can get and try to filter out what you need and with which one you can grow. And I think that's a really important principle for everything in life, for university, for self-development, for business development, whatever you're doing. That's just why I'm like crushing everything out of this thingy right now. Yeah. So
Yeah, but you're right about it. I mean, it's the base for everything. And like your mindset and the way you behave, especially with yourself and other people as well, is the base for, building a successful career, building a successful, college degree or a relationship as well. And as you said, and I think that's the interesting part, because it's not only a cab we have, it's a grow cab. So we want to learn, we want to grow from the knowledge that we receive from everyone daily, and also especially on this platform. And I think that is also the interesting part, because so many things happen spontaneously, right? That's also a part of the idea why we both said we actually want to start a podcast, just because there are so many interesting conversations happening every day, and there's so much you can take out of it. And with this platform giving us the opportunity to put it out there, it is our goal to not only learn ourselves, but also to give other people that actually are interested in it the opportunity to learn from it and to take something of it. And even if it's just 1%, it changed something in your mind and while you're thinking about things for people.
exactly, it's like literally like a basic mindset switch that you just open yourself up for everything which is out there,
Yeah.
and just like take it all in and just
Yeah.
reflect and just try to learn from every little step. And even if there's like something which like went wrong or which is just like shitty knowledge, even if you know then that it this way of doing something is shitty, you at least know it next time that you don't need to try this way, and you save time and you save energy and everything. So
Yeah.
I think it's really important, especially like in a world today where everything is like so intercultural, internationally
Culturally
connected.
connected. Yeah.
Exactly. I think even then it's way more important to be as open as possible, and also and it helps you a lot to understand like different cultures. And if you maybe later on work in an international job or something like that, sure, you just already like made for
Definitely.
that. And I think it's like a basic mindset switch, because like in the beginning you have like many stereotypes, or maybe you just think like your way is the best way, and because of that you don't want to look at others' opinions. But
Yeah.
like, just imagine if you just don't look at all these other stuff, you're just blocking away so much information, so much knowledge. And I think that's really where we need to make a switch, guys. I
Yeah.
think personally.
I also want to got into what you said, about also thinking about things that went wrong, and then knowing how to not do it, because that is really important. Just as it is as important to know what you want and what you don't want, for sure. And then also talking about making your strengths that you actually have stronger, and not trying to balance out or making your weaknesses better, to actually focus on what you're good at. And I think people that go all the other way, that no one would expect them to go, are especially the people you could learn from in that way. And also, um a friend of mine that I was talking about earlier, he also inspired me with this other metaphor. If you think about going a path, it's like this tunnel in Indiana Jones, right? Or in these movies where they're like in a tunnel system, and you don't know what way to go. So there's like, you come out of the tunnel and there's 8 ways you could possibly go. So what are you going to do? You're not going to stand around all day thinking about what you're going to do. You're just going to have to try one. And if that's not the way to go, well, then you will come back and try the other 7 that are left. And I think that is a really interesting path to look at as well. And that just goes along with what you said.
So
So
true,
yeah.
so true. Even maybe if you're like at the beginning, if you see like these 8 different tunnels, and you're like, maybe this one could be the best, but I don't have like the resources to go for this one. Just like maybe try the other one, and maybe on the way there you learn something, or you get more resources, and then maybe sure maybe that's not the perfect tunnel, but maybe then you get like resources to go back and go for the next tunnel, or you learn something
Yeah.
new, or maybe you go in an even completely different direction. And I think that's like the basic thing behind that is that you just need to do it, and you don't need to think too long which way you want to choose. Because if you stay in this thinking in the place where you started, and you're just thinking the whole time, then you will never go somewhere. And then also momentum is coming there, and if you already just get started, you will continue and continue and step up the game, and then you just keep learning.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to sum this up, and to come to a good conclusion of today's podcast, I think we can also say that a really important part is to just get started. I think we're one of the best examples for it with this project, and just getting started first of all, and also making the decision. Not always the right decision, but you say the best decision is just the decision that was just made. So yeah, to sum this up, this episode was supposed to just be about you guys giving understanding how the name was developed, why we chose the name, what our basic idea is, and what we want to get out of this for us, and what we want to learn, and also for you guys, hopefully. We definitely want to say once more, and we're going to say that a lot of times, I think. We want to get into interaction with you guys, with the community. We want to actively take you guys as a part of this journey, of this ride, as he says, of this project Grow Cap. And yeah, thank you for today. That is for me. The last words will have Dami for today.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening. It was second episode today, and like, yeah, he mentioned it before, and we just want to keep the exchange running. That's like our main point, because
Yeah.
yeah, we don't know what's out there, guys. We just need to literally suck in everything, to just open our minds and just get all this experience, all this knowledge, and just grow from there. And thank you guys for having sharing a ride with us today, and we're looking forward to welcome you on board next time.